I arrived at the airport early in the morning. My flight was supposed to leave in 2 hours. I found a seat near my gate and pulled out a book to pass the time. I love reading, and it helps me relax. I noticed a man sitting a few seats away. He looked nervous, tapping his foot and checking his watch often. I smiled at him, trying to be friendly. He smiled back and moved closer. "Is this seat taken?" he asked. "No, please sit," I said. "Are you traveling for business or pleasure?" "Business," he replied. "But I'm nervous because I hate flying." I nodded. "Flying can be stressful. What's your name?" "I'm Jack," he said. "And you?" "I'm Emily," I said. "Nice to meet you, Jack." We started talking about our lives. Jack told me he worked for a tech company and had to travel often. I told him I was a teacher and was going to visit my sister. Talking to him made the time go by quickly. Suddenly, an announcement came over the loudspeaker. Our flight was delayed due to bad weather. The delay was for 6 hours. I sighed, and so did Jack. "Looks like we're stuck here for a while," he said. "Yes," I agreed. "But maybe we can make the best of it." "Have you ever explored this city?" Jack shook his head. "No, I usually just pass through." I smiled. "Why don't we explore it together? It will be better than sitting here for 6 hours." Jack agreed, and we left the airport together. We decided to take a taxi to the city center. It was a beautiful day, despite the bad weather forecast. The sun was shining, and the streets were busy with people. Our first stop was a cozy cafe. We ordered coffee and pastries. Jack and I talked more about our lives, our dreams, and our fears. I felt a connection with him. He was kind and funny, and I enjoyed his company. After the cafe, we walked to a nearby park. The flowers were in full bloom, and we sat on a bench, watching children play and people walk their dogs. It was peaceful, and I felt happy. "Emily, this is nice," Jack said. "I don't usually get to relax like this." "I feel the same," I said. "Sometimes, it's good to take a break and enjoy the moment." We continued our exploration and visited a small museum. We admired the art and shared our thoughts about the paintings. Jack had interesting opinions, and I loved hearing his perspective. As the day went on, I realized how much I liked Jack. He was easy to talk to, and I felt like I had known him for a long time. We laughed a lot and shared stories about our childhoods and families. For lunch, we found a quaint restaurant with outdoor seating. We ordered sandwiches and talked about our favorite books and movies. Jack recommended a few books that I hadn't read, and I made a note to check them out. In the afternoon, we walked by the river. The water was calm, and the city looked beautiful from the riverbank. We took a boat ride, enjoying the gentle breeze and the stunning views. "Emily, this has been an amazing day," Jack said. "I didn't expect to enjoy it so much." "Me neither," I admitted. "I'm glad we met." As the sun began to set, we realized it was time to head back to the airport. Our flight was scheduled to leave soon. We took a taxi back and arrived just in time for boarding. Standing at the gate, I felt a mix of emotions. I didn't want the day to end. Jack looked at me, and I could see he felt the same. "Emily, this might sound crazy, but I don't want to say goodbye," he said. "I feel like we have a connection." I took a deep breath. "I feel it too, Jack. But what can we do? We live in different cities." Jack thought for a moment. "Maybe we don't have to part ways. We could keep in touch and see where this goes." I smiled. "I'd like that, Jack. Let's exchange numbers and keep talking." We exchanged phone numbers and promised to stay in contact. As we boarded the plane, I felt hopeful. Maybe this was just the beginning of something special. On the flight, Jack and I sat next to each other. We continued talking and laughing, just like we had all day. I felt a sense of warmth and happiness that I hadn't felt in a long time. When we landed, we hugged and said goodbye, knowing it wasn't really a goodbye. We had each other's numbers and a promise to see where this new connection would lead. Over the next few weeks, Jack and I talked every day. We visited each other on weekends and made plans for the future. Our chance meeting at the airport turned into a beautiful relationship. Looking back, I realized that sometimes, unexpected delays can lead to wonderful surprises. Meeting Jack was the best thing that happened to me, and I was grateful for that delayed flight. We took a chance on love, and it was worth it. Our day exploring the city was just the beginning of our journey together.